Welcome to Why Should I Invest? Developed by the International Collegiate Angels Network, or ICAN. At ICAN, we believe that campus-born ventures are today's most underappreciated asset class. Each podcast will spotlight a campus-born founder and the venture they're building. I'm going to ask the tough questions that investors would want to ask. So welcome to Why Should I Invest? I'm Dr. Tom Duening. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by Nazanin Saeidi from Carlsbad, Germany. She's got a wonderful company that has got some really great products. I've been over the website and looked at a lot of the different things. In America, we are referring to this type of company as prop tech, or property technologies, or construction technologies. That's a new category of investment. And so, Nazanin, welcome to the show. And please give us a little bit of background on yourself and you know how you came up with the idea for Biowerkz.
My name is Nazanin. I'm currently basically leading the company called Biowerkz. My background is in chemical and bioengineering, and it's already 8 years that I'm working with mycelium materials, in general with bio-based building materials, cultivated materials, and how I came up with this idea is also very interesting. For me, Biowerkz started with the simple question of what can we do to make the world a better place. I really mean it before I leave it behind. And I always find peace in nature, and we always go for hikes almost every weekend. And so wood has always felt so precious to me. And I often wonder what happens at the end of life of a chair, a table, this wood that shapes our life when they reach to an end. What happens to all these carbons which has been stored over decades when they are thrown away? So what if the waste we throw away every day could actually become the building block or the foundation of a more sustainable future? That is basically how we came up with the idea, how this whole venture started.
Right. And, well, I got to tell you, your feedstock is probably going to be quite easy to find. I go up and down my street on trash day, and I see nothing but chairs and things are being thrown away. But you also use some interesting technology. It's a bio-based approach to the binding of the material, right? And it's a mycelium, which is, I guess, the fungus behind you in the image behind you or something is maybe part of that. Tell us a little bit about how it is that it's a mycelium composite material. So tell us more about that.
So basically what we do is we upcycle wood waste and agricultural waste into this 100% bio-based, 100% circular, and 100% recyclable product that we call new wood. And we use mycelium as this binder matrix in this whole system. Mycelium is the root network of mushrooms, what you see behind me, and we use it as a binder to glue all these pieces together, to glue all the waste together without the need to use any synthetic binder in this whole composite. So what we are trying to do is to solve two problems at the same time. We upcycle wood waste and agricultural waste, but we don't create additional problem by turning into a product which again is difficult to upcycle. We bind it naturally together, so at the end we have also a product that can be easily recycled or upcycled back to the production cycle again.
Okay, so you call that the circular economy, is that correct?
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are all about that.
Yeah, right. So in Germany and Europe in particular is that's very important there, I know. Well, tell us a little bit about the product life cycle then. Are you already in production of some of these products?
Yes. So basically what we do at the moment is we work with pilot projects. We have pilot customers that they pay us to produce pilot projects, pilot products for them. And if you mean about like how long the durability of the material and how long does it last, it depends on the type of product that we can make. For new wood, we can make it into different properties, into different shapes and form, because mycelium grows into this shape. So there is no limit, basically. If we work with the lightweight material, we are dealing with packaging, for example, and the shelf life is usually within 1 year, but the material can last a lot longer. However, we can basically return it back to the nature after the shelf life has passed. Usually it takes between 1 to 3 months until the product is fully returned back to the nature. But when we work with the denser panels, probably you have also seen it in our website, with these denser panels, we use it in construction industry or for furniture industry. For that, we are looking at a shelf life of at least 10 years. And once the life is over, we can also recycle it. So what we think about it is not to easily compost it. We can reuse the material that we have to grow another batch or second batch, third batch of material.
Right.
We have tried it. We also have publication for that to show that we are not only using the waste that we are claiming, we are also using the waste of our own product again. Okay. All about circular economy.
Right. A true circular economy. So I'm looking at the various applications of your product, and I see that insulation, acoustic panels, partitioning systems. I guess that would be like the systems that they have, the cubicle systems in office buildings and so on, ceiling panels,
exactly.
As well as structural. So your material actually can be used for load bearing.
Yeah. Yes, of course. So as I mentioned in the previous question, what we make is we make into different forms, shapes, and properties. Our technology allows us to basically tune the properties depending on the application that we are looking at.
Wow.
So usually other mycelium companies that they are at the moment probably growing as well, their main focus is only on the lightweight material, mainly for packaging, but for us is more. We also give a strength to the material through different ways in our production. So we can even have a high density panel, very similar to particle board MDF or OSB with a structural performance, but for interior applications. Basically, that's what we do, is mainly for interior applications because we are not having anything chemical in this. Everything is biological. If we want to be able to bring it to outdoor, of course, we have other approaches to probably add a little bit of biocompatible coatings and that, so it can also be used outside. So our focus is on structural part of interior buildings.
Right.
If we densify it. Yeah.
So it sounds like you got a diverse range of applications for this product. And so investors would want to know, is there intellectual property? Have you protected your unique approach to this?
Yes, of course. So we have filed our technology as a patent, and probably a little bit different from other startups. We have purchased it from KIT, from Germany, from our university. So we are not under licensing agreement. It's our own property, I would say. It's one of our assets that we have, and we file it as a patent ourselves. So we have a technology. We are always trying to add onto this technology, so to basically protect our idea more, because at the end we want to, after we can successfully have our own pilot production plant, we are also working through licensing or joint venture model that customers can license it from us. And this can also help us to have decentralized production to reduce the carbon footprint of the production. So basically, IP is one of our core assets. We try to stay asset light, but IP heavy.
Yes.
But of course, it also needs funding. Yeah.
I get that. Okay. And how about your production capacity? I mean, what happens if investors come in and you're looking for about $2 million, as I see here according to the information that I have. And so let's say we invest $2 million. I mean, what are you going to use that for? And what happens if you suddenly get, a lot of demand for your products?
Sure. So at the moment, before this $2 million that we are trying to raise, we are also raising a smaller amount. So this can help us to finalize our pilot project. And at the same time, we are also trying to raise this $2 million. So this $2 million would help us to set up our own pilot production. At the moment, we are working with OEM. So in our supply chain, we basically pay to the manufacturer to produce for us, of course, with our own technology. And the last part of the production, we do it ourselves because we have to also protect our idea. But if we want to, as you mentioned, we need to produce like thousands of pieces, of course, it's beyond our capacity. So that's where we need this $2 million, because that can help us to set up a small workshop in close distance to, for example, a mushroom farm. Then we can work together with them. So this would basically help us to have a pilot product And we have calculated how much we can produce with this 2 million, and it would be enough for the pilot customers that we are having at the moment. So now we have 3 pilot customers, and the demand that they have for the next 3 to 5 years, we would be able to fulfill it.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. And I appreciate that. And you mentioned the mushroom farm, and I just wonder,
exactly.
is there any scarcity of this key ingredient, the mycelium?
No, that's not a problem, actually. That's not a problem at all, because what we need in our whole material production, mycelium grows itself on its own. It uses the substrate, which, as you said, it's found everywhere. And usually we add less than 1% of mycelium to the whole mixture, and it keeps growing, and we can always make this again. So mycelium is not really the part that we would be missing. I think it's this whole complex logistics that we are more worried about. Okay. It's not about the mycelium. It's about the logistics. That's what we have worked in the past few years to learn about how we can make it work.
Okay,
so it's not really about the mycelium.
Okay, and regarding that last point about logistics and making it work and so on, I'm looking here. You've got a tremendous team that you've put together. Tell us a little bit about your team.
So I'm the majority shareholder. So basically, I'm the director of the company. And what we do, we come from different backgrounds. So as I mentioned, my background is in chemical, in biotechnology, bioengineering, and what I'm in charge with, it's mainly the product development and also managing the whole team. But I'm also co-directing the company together with Ali Reza. He has the background in civil engineering and also management. So he's helping a lot with communication, marketing, and strategies, and basically connection with customers. And usually he's the person who finds all the networks that we need, like you, for example. So we have also Yang Chao. He has operation and sales experience, and his his expertise comes more in handy when we have our pilot plant, because that's where we need him to help us set up the whole production facility. We also have Mr. Foster, Egon Foster, on board. He has built this company for over 30 years. He's making machine manufacturing. He's a machine manufacturer. He helps companies to scale up with his machinery, and that's why we are working with him. So with his help, we are bringing our material from pilot scale to commercialization scale. And also he's very key partner to us, because we are using at the moment his facility for our pilot project. Yeah. And we have also Professor Hebel as our academic advisor on board with a little bit of a share. But of course, we are also always working with a lot of mentors and those who support us, who believe in us.
Yes. And how long have you been at it since for 3 years, you said? Or how long have you been at how long has Biowerkz existed as a company?
Officially, as a company, it's since last November.
Okay.
Yeah, but we have already worked with this marketing business idea for the past, let's say, 3 to 4 years. But we started the company only when we could manage to acquire the IP from the university. That was really important. It took us 2 years to get it. Yeah.
And what university was that?
The Karlsruhe Institute of Technology.
Karlsruhe University.
KIT, Germany.
I see. Yeah. Okay. And wow, that's very interesting. And of course, we have to point out that your website is biowerkz.com, and it's Biowerkz with a Z at the end, not an S. And by the way, it's BIOWERKZ. To make sure that everybody that wants to get a hold of you goes to the right website.
Biowerkz.com. Yeah.
Biowerkz.com. And I also, I see that I'd like to know a little bit about your pilot projects. Are they primarily in your vicinity there, or are you around Europe and other countries as well? Or pretty much everything is in Germany right now?
No, actually, that's we have customers from Germany. So one of the customers that we are working with is a medium-sized office furniture manufacturer in Germany. And what we do for them is we collect their wood waste and we optimize and produce a new product for them. So it's a very nice closed loop system for the industry as well. So they are in Germany, but one of our main customers is in water industry. We are helping to insulate the water pumps with our product. They are located in Denmark, so it's not only Germany.
Okay.
So we try to stay quite international, but of course, at the moment, we are very much only limited to the EU. But we are also working with some construction industries. They are mainly, I would say, in Germany and also Austria.
Okay.
So that's where our pilot customers are from at the moment.
Well, we only have a few more minutes, and I'm certain that that investors would be interested. I mean, we're certainly interested in the fact that you have this environmental value proposition, the circular economy value proposition part. But if somebody gets involved with your product, is there any kind of is there a difference in price in working with you versus working with the standard materials?
Very good question. So at the moment, we try to match our prices with the price that the customer is paying.
Okay.
For example, just give you an example. At the moment, the furniture industry that we are working with for that specific, because they are only building the whole furniture, the pieces, the materials, they are also outsourcing. At least this is the case for the company that we are working with. So at the moment, for example, for that piece of furniture or the element, they pay €4 for that piece, and we try to match the price. So at the moment, we are staying with them, staying with the same price as what they are paying, so that we don't create this gap.
Right.
This is true for our two paid pilot projects, like the furniture industry and also the water industry, where we work with the insulation shell. But when it comes to construction industry, it's a little bit different because it's in terms of supply, they need a lot of material, and the prices of the conventional materials are rather low. So it would, for us, would be very difficult to match the price for construction industry, mainly because we don't have the economic of scale. When we are basically able to produce more, we can also be the same price. At the moment, I would say it's about 20 to 30% more than the average price, but similar to premium range products.
Right. But if you can get some economies of scale, you can be price competitive with the existing materials.
Definitely. That's what we are working for, because construction industry is where we can see the real impact. They are the most material intensive industry. So if we want to create the impact that we are looking for, we have to work towards construction industry. And for that, we need to compete with the price.
Right.
Because usually companies, they wouldn't pay, no matter how good or how environmental friendly your product is. At the end, price is the first question that everybody asks.
Yeah, of course. Yes, it is. Yeah. How about, are there any regulations in your favor?
Yes. For example, the water industry that we are working with, they are obliged to change their synthetic installations, which at the moment they are making from PU. So it's more like a regulations that kind of force them towards change. So it's in our favor. And also it's in this whole EU 27 that at the moment, for example, the wood waste is burned for energy. Most of the wood waste is burned. But now the EU has the new regulation that material recovery should be before energy recovery. So it's kind of an obligation from this whole EU to change towards more upcycling. So there is a lot of favor towards upcycling and making new products. And from customer sides, from industry sides, they are also obliged to change. They have usually, at the moment, they have the timeline until 2030 to reach to this sustainable development goals. But unfortunately, everything is too far behind. But we are trying to be at least one step closer to the goal that we have promised.
Yeah. Sounds like you're in a good place in the EU for capturing some of that ongoing regulation.
Usually, and I would say yes, but it's also very difficult. When it comes to action, it's very difficult. But at least the mindset is there. They know that they need to make the change.
I got it. Well, you have a tremendous technology that you're building. It seems like it's got a lot of diverse uses, and having pilot projects and some revenue already going is terrific. You've got the IP in place. You've got a great team in place. So after all that has been said, I have to ask you the question, why should I invest?
At Biowerkz, we believe that creating a real impact is only possible when we work together. So we bring the technology, but of course we don't have the capital which is needed. And only with the same-minded people that they have the capital, we can do this change, that it is possible. And I think that's why you should invest, because it's we need to be hand to hand to make a change. Otherwise, no technology can escape the lab. It only stays in the lab without creating the impact that it has to create to make a change.
Well said. And you've already proven your technology can
Yeah,
deliver.
I hope so.
Yeah, it's terrific. Well, Nazanin, it's been wonderful chatting with you today. Thank you so much for
Great,
joining
thanks.
us on Why Should
No
I Invest?
problem.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hopefully we can find same-minded people from your network.
Yes. For more information about how you can get involved in the ICAN mission, please contact me directly via email at tomdenning@icanhub.net.